Hey folks, Jonathan here on another little road trip. Not too far from home, a couple towns over, and I've sold the Volkswagen Dune Buggy just to let everyone know, and got it into the hands of somebody that can use it. And we're going to pick up another little item. I don't know if you call it a project or something I'm going to resell, but just it's at a deal, so I'm going to grab it. And you know, when I first seen this thing, I had a little trouble figuring out what it was myself, but so I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm actually going to go get it, and I'll film it, and that way you can at least get an opinion in your head of what you think it is, and then I'm going to tell you what it is, and actually show you some, you know, a picture of it, and or a picture of one original, and anyway. It's a neat piece. It's pretty rare, and it's one of them. When you see it, you think it's something, but it's probably not what you think it's going to be. So anyway, I'll see if we can't videotape loading it, and we'll get it back to the shop. So, all right, show you more. Another old beat up driveway here. Big trees, but we're still in the sand hills here, so a lot of horse area and, you know, horse farms and golf courses around this area. Anyway, we've about made it there. Alright folks, we're here. And it's just what I thought it was, all that good stuff. No problem, gonna pay man cash and get it. The problem is, I asked him if I could get to it pretty easy, and he said, yeah, you can back right up to it. That's the problem. I don't even have a snatch block on this truck, because I'm not, you know, I haven't been using this truck for highway patrol or anything like that, and I hadn't put one on it. And I tell you what, we're gonna have a job getting this thing out. So, and there is a little mud around here, so we're gonna see how this goes. It's gonna be a pain to back up to where it needs to be, and then I can't get directly in front of it. Even if I could, I think there's a septic tank there. All right, I'll show you when we get back here. Let me see if we can get out of here. boy, this has been fun. Note to self, put a snatch block on the truck. It's not smart. I don't like this situation at all. Not one bit. Get out of here. That ain't gonna work. Alright folks, we made it out of there, luckily, and let's see if we can get up the road here. What a mess. I sure wasn't expecting that thing to be in there where it was. If I had, I'd have brought some chains and some, definitely some snatch blocks. What you see me do there with the J-hook, you know, don't do that. That's not a smart thing to do. And you know, it's hard on the cable and cuts into the J-hook. That was an old J-hook, but and I've seen other people do it, and I've sort of you know, snickered at them doing it, and you know, I guess I gotta quit being like that. But the it definitely is not the right way to do things. But you know, out in the middle of nowhere and in a pinch, I figured we'd go ahead and do it and get it loaded. So anyway, we do have it loaded, and on our way back to the shop. Like I said, I just wish I'd have known it was where it was, because I could have came prepared, and I didn't come prepared. My Boy Scouts training wasn't kicking in too well. All right, we'll get back to the shop and I'll show you more. All right, folks, we've made it back, and it's not looking too bad. Excuse, it's raining a little bit, or misting a little bit out here, but anyway, what we've got here is a Worthington Model C Chief. This is actually a Gulf Chief tractor. Now, they made the Worthington Model C in two different styles. It would be just a Chief or a Gulf Chief, and the difference between them, a Chief would have had spring suspension in the front, and a Gulf Chief would have the pivot right there in the center. And the difference is this one is made for more hill conditions and off-road, as the other one was made more for like a airport, maybe, you know, tug tractor or something like that. This was probably used at one of the golf courses to pull lawnmowers, you know, the real type mowers. This thing's been sitting a long time. You know, the original deal on this was I was interested in the two pieces of stainless on the outside, this one and the one over on the other side for the Dodge. And you know, a lot of people didn't realize that this was even a tractor. They thought it was a cut down truck, and I could totally understand that. And because that was my first thought when I first seen the grill anyway, because somebody has actually put that Dodge on there. It wouldn't have had that. It would have been just probably just steel, no stainless, and just covered. Now this is the rare part of it. Get up here where I can show you. Okay, this is the rare part of it. This is an original Chief for the hood, which, you know, probably most all of them are missing, and so it's pretty rare to find that piece. Now this tractor should have been orange originally, and this particular one anyway, and I've seen it. It's got orange paint, it's got red paint, it's got black paint, so it's been painted a few times, probably with a brush. And I'll show you a few things on this thing that's different. These pieces are cast, and they meet right up to the grill, the Dodge grill. And then the bottom, this is an original cover that goes over the bottom. They didn't have it open, you know, like like the top. And this is probably the Dodge axle that they've modified in the center a little bit for the pivot, which I'm sure it is. Looks like a half ton. It's got the lug bolts. Engine is the same engine that's in my truck right here. It's a 218 flathead 6, and if we can get the hood open here. And I'll let you see if you can see that turning down at the bottom, but it is not stuck, so it'll probably run. And so we may do a first start on this one. Gas tank's right above it. Pretty complete. Luckily nobody stripped it sitting in the woods. The guy I bought it from, it was on his land when he bought the land, and now he's getting ready to sell the land, so he decided he wanted to sell it. Now the serial number for this thing, of course you can see the Worthington tag here, and it would have had the gauges in there, and that's probably Dodge, but serial number on this one is C1925, so it's Model C, and it's serial number 1925, and Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. And that's all original, and it looks a lot worse than what it is because of the flaking paint, but the paint's what, you know, helped save it. But I sent another tag on it that probably is a tag for whatever company used it, and I can't read it real good and I don't have my glasses, so I'm going to try to get it on camera here. And A&MK 7, so this is probably a an inventory tag, so maybe we can go in and see who owned this thing originally. And seat, now I've seen these on Farmall tractors before. That don't mean it has to be a Farmall seat, that just means it could be an aftermarket that actually made them for Farmall and, you know, possibly for these Worthingtons. And this is a rare, you know, rare tractor. The problem is something rare don't mean it's always valuable. So, you know, it don't have a lot of value, but it's a neat piece. I really like the way it, you know, the way it's made and stuff. It's well worth, you know, getting out of the woods and saving. And rear end castings. You know, it looks like it's just done a wraparound frame, and this is a nice big heavy casting that bolts directly to the rear. And I'm sure this is probably a Dodge, you know, 1.5 ton, 2 ton rear. It's got a 6 lug pattern, dual wheels, got the old diamond tread tires, got 2 there and 1 on the other side. And let me see, a pretty healthy hitch here, and it's been used. You see it watered out good. But like I said, probably just a Dodge rear end, big brakes. Granny Gear 4-speed. Now, one of the good things about this tractor, you know, that something they advertised when they sold these things was it was fast to get between jobs. Now, this tractor in first gear runs 1.5 miles an hour, but in fourth gear, which it is a 4-speed, in fourth gear this tractor runs 47 miles an hour. So that's, you know, the difference between this and most regular farm tractors is, you know, you're not going to get 47 mile an hour out of most of them. It'd be fun to ride it at 47 mile an hour, I'm sure. But anyway, let me still got the old original 6-volt battery, and parts, spark plug, part of one of the gauges it looks like. Oh, there's my pulley I needed when I was winching this thing out. I'll be doggone. I don't think that was big enough. Alright, just a bunch of junk. Well, anyway, I appreciate everybody watching on this one. Kind of something a little bit different. And, you know, neat piece. Glad to be able to save it for sure. And like I said, don't use what I do as an example, because, you know, this really wasn't the right way to get this thing out of here. And I won't leave the yard no more with this truck for sure without some snatch blocks. The worst thing is I've got plenty of them. I've collected them over the years, and I've got more than I will probably ever need in my lifetime. But they don't do a bit of good if they're not on the truck. So I'll get a little bit more prepared, and maybe we'll see if we can get this thing fired up and running. It's a neat piece. I kind of hate to use the stainless off of it. I don't know. We'll figure out what I'm going to do. You know, probably gonna put it for sale. Try to get it into somebody's hands that will, you know, be able to do something with it and use it. And when I do this kind of stuff, you know, that's one thing about it. I'm not in this just to try to turn a bunch of money or nothing like that. You know, if I buy cheap, I sell cheap. And one of my goals is to get this into people's hands that'll do something with it. No different than the dune buggy. I actually had people, I put it on Facebook, on a page on Facebook, and I put it on that Samba.com too, but I actually had people get a hold of me and tell me that I was too cheap, that they was really collectible now, and there was people collecting them, and I needed to post it somewhere else and raise the price. And you know, I thought it was kind of funny, because I was just wanting to, you know, I bought it. I'd like to get, you know, my toe and stuff out of it, maybe make a few dollars, and just turn it over to the next person. And hopefully the next person is the person that, you know, that's their, not necessarily dream ride, but I mean a ride that they really want to do something with and fix up. And same way with this tractor. We'll maybe see if we can get this into the hands of somebody that, you know, really would appreciate it and do something with it. So anyway, it's a neat looking piece anyway. All right, I appreciate everybody watching, and till next time, bye.